Hello, you maltilliciously malt-mated malt mentioners. And thank you to Industrial 33 for the malt mention. Thank you, Industrial. Love your name. I'm Ralphie. Welcome to the Bothy. Welcome to Ralphie Review 1053 Extras, in which I am following up on my last review, which was of an independent bottling, not of a single malt, but of a malt blend, which is a sort of whisky. When you're getting into whiskies, particularly Scotch whisky, you tend to look at and you think, I don't have a clue about that. Let's stick to what I know. And I'd just like to give some advice specifically in relation to independent bottlers, because at the moment this whisky is going live on the internet, it's November 2024, and this is right at the moment in time where a lot of people are exploring the options and noticing on the shelves of shops, even some supermarkets, these independent bottlings. I mean, Costco and Trader Joe's, if you're in the USA, they've got their own brand of independent bottlings, which I never see. To put into perspective, I'm just busy with a series of extras for my Patreon subscribers and Patreon Ralphie. It's my channel in Patreon, in which I'm really just overviewing the A to Z of independent bottlers, and I'm only covering about 100, and yet in the grand scheme of things globally, there's probably near 200, if not more, independent bottlers, and that's not counting those who are no longer producing, but you can still find their bottles at auction. Do you know, maltmates, it's confusing. When we look at an independent bottling, more often than not, we simply don't recognise the brand. So we're left confused, wondering, well, should I buy it? Is it any good? What's the price like? Who's going to help me decide? Where will I find reviews? And because independent bottlings, single bottlings, tend to be either single cask or small batch, they don't hang around for long, and therefore not many people ever have access to them, and therefore there's not much in the way of reviews online. So I'm here to help you navigate this situation. And the first thing I would say is, see if you're just getting into whiskey for your first at least 3 or 4 years. Don't spend any time being confused by the independent bottlers. Stick to the proprietary official brands. Start with your Laphroaigs, Glenfiddichs, Glenlivets, Auchentoshan's. Get your bearings. Try a whisky from each region. Have your own little Scottish map, and then map out the whiskies you've enjoyed more than the whiskies that you haven't enjoyed so much. Build up a diary, keep a little notebook saying, bought this whisky, started off a bit disappointed, but it opened up nicely. Make comments as well, fill up your diary. Fed up with all this chill filtering, decided to get an independent bottler. I checked out the OSWAs, the Online Scotch Whisky Awards, and saw that Signatory Vintage Independent Bottling Company has won a trifecta 3 years in the row, best independent bottler. That's got to count for something, and therefore I spoke to someone in my whisky club, and they say you can't go wrong with the 100 proof series. They're all good. So I bought a bottle of that, and oh wow, amazing, transforming my whisky experience, because so few official bottlings actually deliver at the same calibre. Raw, cask strength, minimal filtering, natural, unpretentious. No condescending, intelligence insulting filler and flannel, which it's not really designed for us. It's designed for the passive, lazy consumer who needs to be overstimulated with superficiality before they'll even check up the supermarket shelves or Amazon to find out who's doing the best discount. That's the world in which we navigate. That's the way it really is. And it comes with experience. And I would say that what really helps you navigate is not doing your journey in isolation. Now, if you can join a local whisky club, that's useful. But many of us can't because of geographical location. So join an online whisky forum. And I tell you what, see when you ask advice, and keep it generalised. Don't say, I'm looking at such and such a blended malt. What do people think? No, you go in and you say, I had a look in my local specialist liquorist retailer, and they've got a wee selection from this independent bottler, that independent bottler, that independent bottler. Malt mates, can anyone give me a helping hand here? And you will find that the online whisky community is impressively informed and amazingly helpful. Do you know, it's not just your mainline traditional communicators like myself giving specific reviews and following up with handing over my experience so you can learn faster than me. It's more than that. You'll find that as you move into the whisky scene, it is very cosmopolitan. It's wonderfully refreshing. You're surrounded by civil, decent people from all over the planet. And compared to some other forums around sports or fashion, or even video games and certainly politics, you'll find it refreshingly polite. Cheers. Some independent bottlers are really quite large. The former Gordon and MacPhail, although they've discontinued as being an independent bottler, in my opinion, we're going to see a super independent bottler come over the horizon before too long. And I'll tell you why, because there's a downturn in global whisky sales, and therefore the distillers will want to sell more and more of better and better quality onto the independent market. There will be a private finance initiative. Don't ask me how I know, I just know these things. It's the way it goes. Who is basically waiting in the wings. They're going to create a brand, a very good value brand. They're going to get the product out there, and it's going to be really, really interesting times because they know, because they're overviewing, they're doing the actual legitimate research. And they know that the development globally of your average proactive whisky drinker is developing at a very rapid rate. All our palates are getting better. And as they do, they get more fussy. They get used to the bottle we had last time, and it no longer stimulates us the way it used to. And we're curious, and we're adventurous, and we're looking for something a bit more dynamic, a bit more challenging, which is still good quality. And this is when we start to look at West Coast distilleries. When we start to look at independent bottlers, when we start to look at the younger distilleries coming of age who have had no choice but to get their brand absolutely pitch perfect, or they simply will not survive. And this is the landscape. It's not just picking up in the bottles, it's picking up on the fact that there's micro independent bottlers. And this is something my Patreon subscribers are aware of, because here's my own bottling. Ralphie.com, my 6th bottling, celebrating 50 million views on YouTube. Sure, it took 15 years, but hey, I'm in no hurry. These are good quality of reviews. They're genuine reviews. I never had to buy them, unlike some other channels out there. You'll notice it as soon as you see it. I have to say the majority of authentic whisky review channels, they're totally legit. They've never had to buy subscribers and buy viewers. But when you're running a business and you're paying consultants and they're getting a big fat juicy budget, better believe they're going to spend it. And they'll spend it however it needs to be spent to get results. Here's my independent bottling. It's a Caol Ila, 9 years old, ex-barrique. First available to my Patreon subscribers because, hey, they're loyal to me and they're subscribed, so they get first shout. But there's only one shop you can find this in. It is for sale. £75 a bottle. It's a single cask strength, 55.3%, 9-year-old Caol Ila, and it's Ralphie.com. Now, when it comes to obscure independent bottlers, I like to think I'm more or less on top of that pile. I bottled 3 casks last year. It was 3 bottlings in 2023, 1 bottling in 2024. But the Good Spirits Company in Glasgow, in Bath Street, Glasgow, are selling this bottle. They're the only stockist, because it's only 1 cask, so it keeps things straightforward and simple, which is what we have to do when operating in such a tiny scale. But they've bottled one of their own, Linkwoods, a 13-year-old Linkwood, to help me celebrate. So it's got my face on it, on their label. 13-year-old Linkwood. It too is £75 a bottle. That's really good value. Only available at the Good Spirits Company, and I'm happy to give them a lift on my channel, because I find them very comfortable and decent to work with. I always know exactly where I stand, and they always give me good advice. I know that onliners will tell you quite rightly that they're slow to get the bottles delivered to you. That's true, but they're working in such a very, very small scale at a very busy time of year, so patience is a virtue. But here it is. I won't be reviewing this because it wouldn't be reasonable being fair. And it'd be, frankly, I'm just not prepared to pamper my self-indulgence that way. I will discuss it and share it with my Patreon subscribers, give an overview, the history of the cask, the history and how it actually has changed from when I got a sample bottle to the final bottling 4 months later, because it's amazing how whisky can change in a very, very short space of time whilst in the cask. What advice would I give to conclude this video? Very simple. There's no hurry in this. There's no rush. Frankly, malt mates, I'm just telling you, whisky's not rare. It's not rare. And when there's less demand for whisky, the quality of whisky will start to increase. And the prices will not increase. Otherwise, the producers will not make their sale. It's market forces. It's always been about market forces. The whisky industry has always been cyclical, full of booms and busts. I think, however, that what was really changing now is the level of knowledge, enthusiasm and engagement amongst the proactive whisky community right across the internet, which is of a higher calibre than has ever been in the past. I know there are detractors from within the whisky industry who regard the online whisky community as pests, and sure, there will be the occasional bad apple, or bad cork, should I say. Someone who comes on, they're clearly intoxicated and they're talking rubbish, even being libelous. So they need to be shut down. But by and large, the quality of online commentary is very high, and many of the views and reviews of the independent whisky drinkers around the internet are very valid and dependable. So go find them. It will help you in the journey. There's no hurry. Don't rush in to buy. And if you develop a relationship with a specialist whisky shop who may charge a little bit more for the bottle, but unlike Amazon, who'll never do this, and the supermarket will never do this, they will actually probably let you taste and try the product before you buy it, which is a huge game changer. Particularly when they know you as a civil, dependable customer who is building up a relationship with them and asking them, the retailer, for their advice. If you can have a rapport like that with your retailer, go for it. It's not every specialist retailer who has the wit and the foresight to motivate their staff to engage and connect beyond the initial sale. It's just real life. It's just the way it is. In a sense, actually, in the UK, in the British Isles, we're very fortunate with every major town now has their specialist whisky shop who will be stocking the less obvious stuff. For a simple reason, the big corporations think that they're too small a customer to be even bothering to provide them with their highly promoted industrialised brands. And there you have it. I'm Ralphie, here in the Bothy, the Whisky Bothy, sharing the journey. Looking forward to seeing my Patreon subscribers shortly for a Bothy Live. Over 2 hours of Q&A and a bit of live chat and interaction. It's all good. It's all grist for the mill, as they say. And I look forward to seeing you again, malt mates, as and when you're ready. I am here. I'll be starting my seasonal specials soon of 3 best malts, 3 best peaty whiskies, 3 best light whiskies, 3 best economy whiskies. I do that every year just to give you a little extra nudge and a shovey, just to help you towards buying a bottle of whisky if you happen to be thinking about it, but you're not quite sure. See you soon, malt mates. Uh-oh. Clivey clicker, press it 3rd time lucky, press it twice, and the video's still recording. It happens. It's the dampness getting into the batteries. I'll try it another time. This should work. It will work. Do you think it will work? Let's see.